Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, my dad was from Texas. So was his dad. But my great-grandfather came from Missouri. And his wife, he met her in Cincinnati, Ohio. The story goes that he was a Missouri lead miner who he'd hit the road looking for other work. And he was wandering around, well, he was in Kansas City. I know that because he bought his pistol there. I've got the Colt letter on it showing where it came from. But what's interesting is the gal he married was a teenager, daughter of a doctor from Cincinnati. He'd gone to the doctor having, I don't know, some ailment. And when the teenage daughter of the doctor answered the door at his clinic, my granddad, my great-granddad, and her saw each other and were smitten immediately with each other. And that went to that. Anyway, they eloped and went to Texas, where he worked as a bridge foreman, building bridges for the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. And my grandfather was born in a caboose, because they'd park a caboose up by the river, and then he'd bring his gang in and start working on the bridge. And he lived in the caboose during the construction period. Well, anyway, her family was from Ohio. Now, I know my granddad, his sympathies were for the South in the Civil War. And being that he was in Texas, this is a replica of a Dance revolver, a Texas-made revolver from the Civil War. It's a good revolver, too. And this particular one is really a good shot, too. It's a good revolver. I've got two others here. This is a replica of a Spiller and Burr. Spiller and Burr was a copy of the Whitneyville and is also a superb little revolver. I think this was my first Confederate revolver I ever got. And this is my pride and joy, a New Orleans Lamott, made by the good doctor in New Orleans, and sold, well, actually commissioned by the South's procurement officer, whose name was P.G.E. Beauregard. Well, Beauregard happened to be married to the cousin of Lamott, so they had a nice little relationship, and Beauregard took a little percentage of every one of these that the South bought, and he carried one all through the war. So did many others. I think Braxton Bragg also carried one of these. It's the interesting thing about this is it's an 8-shot, plus it has a 16-gauge shotgun barrel here. So this is called the grape shot revolver. Well, there's a cap, a bugle, and a book. Oh, and this is actually a Marine sword, but it'll have to do. But it's a nice sword. But this is my gem. As I said, my great-grandmother came from Cincinnati. Well, one of her ancestors carried this through the Civil War. He was an Ohio volunteer who fought in the South. Well, he fought for the Union, but in the South. And this is his war diary. Now, he wasn't much of a writer. Most of the stuff here is marched all day, camped out at someplace, got sick. He got sick a lot, it seems. Took wounds at, gosh, I can't read the battle he was at. And, I mean, it's just one-liners throughout of this diary, and many, many blank pages. Up front, he has a list of people he owed money to, and a whole bunch of pages were cut out of this. But what I found interesting, let me see if I can find it again. It was in April. So it would be, let's see, it was April. Yeah, this is it. I don't know if you can see this. Hard to read. That's him writing about that he just read that Lincoln was assassinated. April 14th, 1865. And it's kind of faded out, and the ink is not the best quality. And I don't know where he was at the time. So I can find before that. Let's see if I can find something that spells out where he was. Let's see here. Started from South Adelia, North Carolina. So they were marching from North Carolina at the time. Then he learned that, and that was on April 10th. So 4 days later, he learned that Lincoln had been shot. Or he learned about that Lincoln had been shot then. That's his signature. Henry J. Peck was his name. And this is in a section that's right next to the section that was cut out. So there's a lot of things about family members and when they were born and when their children died. And I mean, a lot of kids died in childbirth then. And there's a whole bunch of stuff about relatives there. But then the rest of this is about marches, and he obviously didn't write much, but he did write what he wrote. I thought about transcribing all this into text just to have a copy of it. But no, I don't think many other historians would be interested in this, because this is more family history than anything else. But it's pretty interesting stuff. Went into Corinth in someplace, the evening. I can tell he's related to me because his handwriting is almost unreadable. So is mine. Let me try these, they're a little clearer. Went into Corinth in the evening, took our place in line of battle on the right of somebody, Robnett. Somebody named Robnett. And this says, I left Atlanta, marched slow all day, crossed the battle lines in the night, and kept north. Near day, Battle of Corinth. John somebody or another. In the evening, can't read it, sent out to reconnoiter, but the Rebs all left. Well, interestingly, it also has a bunch of little recipes in here, mainly like newspaper clippings, old newspaper clippings, and recipes for things for medicines. And this is a find lover for girl. Detective Carruthers left Monday for Louisville to get Eugene P. Harbor, advertising solicitor, under arrest there on charges of taking $90 and a diamond ring from Miss Milford somebody or another, clerk in a Cincinnati department store. Harbor, under the assurance that he was a single man, courted Miss Harbor and succeeded in getting the money and ring from her, and then skipped. She charged the detective, traced him to Louisville. He is charged with grand larceny. So that's what that's about. That's on the back of something about kidney, bladder, or urinary troubles and desires to be cured quickly. I give below, complete in every detail, the famous prescription which was made by me so successfully in the treatment of these diseases. It is the most certain cure for these diseases that I have ever. Oh God, this is some pablum, some quack medical thing. Well, obviously, Mr. Peck suffered from some kidney problems, I'm guessing. But I'll just put those back where they came from. And this has little pockets throughout. Oh, here's some more. Advice for rheumatics. And yeah, this is another comfrey lozenges, compound of sarsaparilla and extract of dandelion. Okay. I know a little bit about herbology, but some of this stuff, well, you know, it can't hurt you. Those can't hurt you. Some of this stuff could, but that can't hurt you. Let's see what this one is. Blackfoot Society Busy. Oh my goodness. And it's on the back of, what's on the back of this one? Let's see. You will want to save this. Okay, well, he did for well over almost 200 years now. Have you rheumatism, kidney, or bladder trouble? Yeah, I think he had that trouble. And that's on the back of some advertisement for, oh, look at that. A train ride from Cincinnati to Atlanta was $9.15. To Chattanooga was $7.10. And to Birmingham was $9.25. It's cut off, so I can't really tell. Memphis, also low rates to someplace. Special round trip. I have no idea, because it's only part of the rest of the article is over here somewhere. He just wanted the rheumatism recipe, or kidney stuff, I suppose. Anyway, some fun stuff. Little family history. And, you know, American heritage. An 1865 diary of a Civil War veteran. I don't know much about him other than his name, Henry J. Peck. I do know that he was related to my great-grandmother, and that he came, well, he was from Cincinnati as well. So, well, that's about all I know. And this came down to me through the family. And this rest of this is just stuff I picked up because I'm interested in the War of Northern Aggression. And this is an interesting book, by the way. Good read. Anyway, that's all I got to talk about. Happy trails.